How do you do an emotional detox? I am Brian. This is Walking and Talking Spirituality. Thanks for taking a walk with me. And I'm thinking, it's early October in 2022, and thinking about the extreme sense of emotions I've been feeling on the inside about a variety of things. September was an extremely busy month. Ended off with a hurricane. I've had some kind of health concerns and other just miscellaneous kind of life stuff. And on the inside, I've just noticed how much overwhelm I felt. And simultaneously, I'm taking this really cool course as I'm working on being able to add addiction coaching to my practice to help folks that are struggling with different sorts of addictions. And addiction goes way beyond the things that you usually think about. And one of the pieces that we've worked on is, what do you do with really extreme feelings? Because that's usually what happens with addictions. Addiction essentially is, we usually pick, and this is especially true in the church, we associate an addiction with a substance or a particular behavior, and we just attempt to help the person get freedom from the behavior. But what I've noticed over the years is that doesn't always help people, and I want to be able to help people to break free. And what I'm learning is that addiction is really a solution. It's not the problem, and it's a solution to the way a person feels on the inside, and sense of overwhelm, guilt, shame. I call those things the unholy trinity. And I've noticed my own contemplative practices, how they've helped to settle some of those feelings in my own life, and I've broken more and more free from those. But when you work with somebody who's stuck in certain kinds of behaviors or is turning to anything external, to the love on the inside that we have as our identity as persons loved by God, we're setting ourselves up to depend on something outside of ourselves. And what I've noticed, it's been really interesting to connect with this material. This is my own inner self, and I do a lot of centering prayer so I can see my extreme emotions rise up during that, and comes out in my journaling practice also. But one of the coaches, name's John, that has been doing some of the workshops, he just talked to me. He's a great illustration I want to share, and I think this will be helpful for everybody listening to this. It'll also be helpful if you mentor other people or work with other people. And John basically just said, and it's so simple, when you feel an emotion, just let it be and think about it as like getting on a roller coaster. And that really connected with me, because I remember back when I grew up in Ohio, I used to go to Cedar Point, which always had the fastest and biggest roller coasters, and been to some of the theme parks like down at Universal Studios here in Orlando and stuff. But really liked that, because he just basically said an emotion, it's a whole experience. It's like getting on the roller coaster. You strap in, you go up the big hill, you have that moment of almost overwhelm, drops over the big hill, and then you're just in this kind of chaotic phase. But then eventually the coaster slows down, you come around that last bend, and you pull right back into the station where you got on the ride and you got off. So friends, when you feel overwhelmed, and I call this how to do an emotional detox, notice emotions. The good ones are fun, they're easy, like moments of joy, and you feel peace and calm. We want those things to go on forever, but we all know that life isn't really like that. There's going to be moments where we have really dark or extreme emotions that don't feel good, that we're going to be tempted to just push away, or even worse, jam down on the inside of us. So when you get into an extreme emotion, think of it as a roller coaster and just hang on with it. Almost watch it just kind of pass through, and know that at some point it's going to recede. and love to have a conversation with you if this resonated. Really think this is going to be a way, long game, that I'm going to be able to serve and bless others. And I hope this little early tidbit, early insight helps somebody that's watching this today. You know, show up, pay attention. God's got way more invested in this than you do. And even as I say those words, even on our own inner life, you know, show up, pay attention to what your body's telling you, what's inside, and just know that the God who loves you knows what's going on too. And God's grace can sustain us when we, you know, surrender that need to just get rid of extreme, difficult emotions instantly and let them just pass, just like a ride on a roller coaster. Live by faith, be known by love, be a voice of hope to others.